This way you kind of get both ends of the spectrum and a whole franchise family taking care of you and your brand as if it were ours.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the latest edition of FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast. I am Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of FranCoach and your podcast host. Today, we have a guest joining us. Clearly, this guest is the leader in the clubhouse for appearances on the Franchising 101 podcast. Excited to chat with her again. We've got a couple big changes going on in the world of franchising, also with FranCoach and our Franchising 360 TV show. So that's any sort of hint as to who our wonderful and lovely guest is today. First, quick reminder of who we are at FranCoach. FranCoach is the premier franchise consulting firm. Our number one goal is to properly educate people on franchise ownership to help them determine if this is the path for them. We're not here to sell you anything. There is no such thing as the hottest or best franchisor industry out there. This is an incredibly individualized and personalized process. And the team at FranCoach is here to focus on the most important thing, which is you, and help you learn. That's what we are all about. Now, without further ado, goodness gracious, let's get to our guest. If there's ever been a time to talk about franchise royalty on the Franchising 101 podcast, it is today. Our guest is our most frequent guest ever on this show. You are clearly at the top of the leaderboard. It is the founder and CEO of Creative Shift, the president of FranCoach, the one, the only Danielle Wright. Danielle, thanks for joining us.
Sure, I'm free. That's the only reason why I'm the repeat guest. Doesn't cost you anything.
No, well, not really, but we have a lot to talk about today with some upcoming.
When do we not have a lot to talk about?
Oh well, that's fair, but this is a lot of things that are new. How about that? So it's usually just us finding different ways to say the same old crap. So one of the other titles you have is co-host of the one and the only, the best show and only show nationally on franchising, the Franchising 360 show. We are, as they say, fixing to kick off season 2 here, tomorrow, frankly. So tell everybody about this wonderful show that you are the co-host of.
Well, I have to tell them. You're equally a co-host of the Franchising 360 show. Wait, let's get it. Here we are. We're going to take a 360-degree look at the world of franchising, whether you want to become a franchise owner, whether you have a brand you want to franchise, or you're just franchise curious. We've got all that information for you on the Franchising 360 show. That's your new that's your new thing.
Okay,
well, your other thing is really long.
You're now in charge of that part of the show moving forward. So,
no, I don't go first. No. You go first.
Yeah, so we're back. We've got our first show is literally airing tomorrow on Biz TV, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Because I don't know when someone's going to see this.
So because all of the podcast listeners, man, they are on it. Like every time it drops every Thursday, they are clicking, they are downloading, they are watching.
Exactly.
We've got the 9 loyalist followers of all time. But the TV show is Friday, October 17th. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, Biz TV. There's also another airing on Sunday. Be awesome if I knew exactly what that time was. I'll get back to you on that. And then
for the listeners, it's actually on TV. So those of you that actually have TV channels, whether you're doing Hulu Live or you're doing YouTube Live, or what are some of the other ones, or just have standard old cable, right? There is a channel.
Yeah, maybe you got rabbit ears. Yeah, you got rabbit ears. You can pull it up. So, feel free to Google rabbit ears, there, boys and girls. But then also on our greatly new and greatly improved YouTube channel, FranCoach for You, the number 4 in the letter U. It will be there Monday-ish. Typically is when that will hit. It's on Biz TV. like weirdly pretty prominently placed on the Biz TV YouTube channel as well. So
Maybe we're good at this and we just don't realize it.
that's possible. But we're kicking it off tomorrow with the State of the Union, which is not a bad thing to kind of update people here on the podcast, because it's been a crazy kind of year, maybe just normal crazy, or crazy.
Just
normal. The new normal.
The new normal.
So I'm sure you have all this memorized from whenever the heck we filmed that episode a week or so back. Any like things you recall from there, like from a franchise standpoint, on where the franchising world is versus like kind of the rest of the world?
I think the thing that we talked most about, and your listeners are probably eager to hear, is that franchising is kind of impervious to what's going on around the world or even in our backyard. So the industry itself, like awarding franchises, people looking at business ownership, stays pretty consistent. It's technically up. It should be up about 4% year over year from a growth perspective. So that's, it's not double digits, but any kind of growth in any kind of economy is something that is good. So let's pat ourselves on the back for that. I think the other important thing is, like, there's always a shift, no pun for the creative shift, in what people are looking for and what kind of businesses spark their interest, right? So you go back, pandemic, post-pandemic, everyone was really in that, what was the word that they used? Like need-based businesses, right? Like they were the ones that were allowed to go in your home and fix things because it was a necessity for you to have survival even in lockdown, right? So ultimately there has been a shift from that. Those businesses stay consistent, but the influx of people buying them has kind of pulled back a little bit. Now people are, hey, health, wellness, beauty, self-sustaining, something that makes them feel good, something that they want to do for themselves as an added benefit. And a lot of people love, like, hey, I have a great lovey, touchy-feely business, and that's something I could see myself doing every day, because that's that get out of bed test, as you like to say. But those businesses are seeing a heightened awareness or impact to people wanting to own them. So there's been that little bit of shift this year to just, I think, kind of balance out the noise for what's going on. When you're asking State of the Union, sounds very presidential and what's going on in a global economy. I think people generally tend to, when there's an upheaval, we tend to go to something that's like, oh, I could see myself doing that, right? Something I could enjoy doing, or I could show up every day versus going to my job and doing, the same thing day in, day out.
Yeah. And then I think that the job is kind of the other piece that rolls into franchising, right? Is whether it's a great job market, right? Like people can find jobs whenever they want, whatever job it is. And then there's also times where it becomes harder to do that. Franchising still just keeps trucking along, right? It tends to be a little bit more of, if the economy's great and job market is great, people, they know that's not going to last forever, right? And so look at franchising maybe from a secondary income stream. Great. Well, we're in a little slightly other side of that equation where it's like, why am I messing around with these jobs? Trying to get a job I don't like anyway. Why don't I take full control and jump in? So it's
they're not available, right? Like I think that's the bigger, because you and I talk about this regularly. There's a job and then there's a career, right? There is definitely a difference in both of those things. And to what you're trying to say with the State of the Union is, like, franchising meets you where you are. Business ownership meets you where you are, whether you're trying to figure it out, which that's a whole separate podcast in itself, or you're trying to make sure that when, not if, when the other shoe drops, you're prepared. Like you're in whatever it is you're going to do next. And so if you're on the career path and you can't find that next step, then maybe you need to create that next step. If you've lost your job and you've applied, I read an article the other day, and someone's like, I literally spend the day doing nothing but applying for job after job after job. It's like, that kind of burns you out. And where do you actually fit? So maybe you should find the thing that fits for you instead of you trying to fit into the thing that you feel like you need.
Yeah. It's almost like FranCoach could help you create your better tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Right. So we've got that with the show. I know there's a lot of we've got a whole bunch of guests coming on for the show. So and new studios. So I'm moderately excited about what's going to be coming with the Franchising 360 show.
Yeah, and this is as excited as you get. Just so anyone listening, he doesn't get any more animated or excited than this, ladies and gentlemen. That is just he's not going, woohoo, here we go.
No, because it's hard. So
it is hard.
So you've done obviously this podcast numerous times, and you're franchise famous. So you cheat on me and you do other ones as well. But how different is doing the TV show versus hopping on and doing a podcast?
One, I can sit here in shorts and a shirt in sunny Florida and not care. So TV show, you for a girl, you got to give a lot more effort on the show. Like, I think they both are equally challenging. I think for TV, you had just said that you had talked to one of our guests, kind of teeing them up, and they were like literally scared. Yeah. And I've done TV before. Like, this is not the first time not to go piggyback on the whole famous stuff. It's not the first time I've been on TV, been on TV a lot. And so it's just reminding yourself you have a short window of time, say what you need to say and say it concise, and just remember it's fun, because the thing that you say that I dislike a lot is no one's watching it anyways. I'm sure that's how you feel about this podcast. No one's listening to it. But I can also tell you've placed a lot of people in franchise businesses that have listened to this podcast.
Yes.
So the reality is I think it's hard because we're not really sure what people want to hear. And you and I are comedic, so we just bash each other. So if you really want to see a good, funny time between the two of us, feel free to log in, watch, enjoy as we go at it.
And you get the most popular segment of the show every week as well, which is Danielle's Friday Franchise Fun Facts. Still sponsored by no one, but my mission in life is to get sponsorship for that at some point. So but no, Friday.
There's some fun facts on there. Like, you're shocked at them most of the time.
No, in fact, the first one I was just talking to before we hopped on here, who's a future guest, had commented on that, and it kind of said like something about how I always seem genuinely surprised, and I'm like, because I am. I have no idea what they are, and honestly,
because when they tell you, it's like you're not as good. Like, I feel like the surprise needs to be for you, because like I get no one here. There's talked
a little
about the
feedback
show.
From that standpoint.
There's no live audience. There's no one sitting around saying "good job" on the fun chat. So I need you to be a little like animated and excited and like genuinely curious.
Yeah, we just have Ryan on the other side of all the equipment, but it's his job to know to sit there and like not make a sound the whole time. So
right.
Yeah. So those are, again, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Biz TV. Super excited about some guests we have coming up basically for the rest of the year. We had no clue what's happening in 26, but we'll get there eventually. But and then it's definitely all on our YouTube channel. So that's the TV show. We've also got some fun, exciting, terrifying things going on with FranCoach, and you have been in this industry for 15 years or so, something like that now, I think. And so the last maybe 5 or 6, your franchisor consulting business, Create a Shift. First, talk a little bit about kind of Create a Shift and like how that even came about, and what the heck are you shifting?
And watch your words kindly, because I think that's part of the fun of the name of the company, is because there's a lot of stuff happening at any one time. So shifting, Create a Shift really came about. I was always working for what they call a franchise sales organization, a company that would work with franchisors just to help them sell or award their franchise brands. And I've done that for a really long time with more brands than I actually want to ever label. And if we start counting them down, we could be here for an hour. But I always found that I gravitated towards the smaller brands, the ones that were just starting and they couldn't afford some of the higher level positions that they really needed that experience and background for. So it's Create a Shift was founded in the space of wanting to be able to shift brands from baby brands to emerging and solid brands for their future, right? Like create the best growth strategies in the beginning so that you weren't spending more money later to fix the problems you had early on that you didn't realize were problems because you couldn't really tap into those resources. So it started really merging franchise sales also with growth and development, lead generation, all of the things. So the best way that I put it to people is Create a Shift is like your fractional franchise development department. And we're here to support franchises that are trying to create more organic lead generation for them to find those right people for their brand, how to best help and guide them to work with franchise consultants, brokers, coaches like yourself and your team and others in the industry. I've worked predominantly with consultants and brokers since 2015. So long history of understanding those relationships and building that. Doing additional training. If they have a franchise sales team, let's make sure you have the right process in place. You're taking the right cadence, understanding how to fill a pipeline that ultimately gets you those franchise owners in space. So we do a lot of that. We've also, I'll drop this here on your podcast. We've kind of in the working stages of building out what we call Develop, DVLOP. It is a training module that franchise development professionals can utilize to learn how to sell franchises. So let's bring more people into this crazy industry that you and I love and help them to learn how to work with franchise brands and really build themselves to be exceptional developers for those brands. So lots of moving parts going on over here, Tim Parmeter, lots of moving parts. Yes.
And so I want to come back to a couple things that you said there. One was the training side of things, but go back to the brands. You have worked for or consulted for all sorts of brands, big, small, everything. I know your kind of sweet spot and fun spot is more those newer ones, those emerging brands that are
micro emerging,
don't know what the hell they're doing, right? And so, what's maybe give us an example of maybe a mistake or two a newer brand might make that Create a Shift could help them like either not make or fix it really fast?
The very first one that stands out regularly for me is when the owner founder of the franchise brand wants to do the franchise calls.
But it's their baby, Danielle. Nobody knows it better than them. What could go wrong?
Because they don't have a gatekeeper. So what has traditionally happened, and I have examples of this, and they'll definitely raise their hand and tell you they did it. Right. They will get on the phone with someone that is interested in their franchise. They'll talk for 2 hours. They'll walk away from that thinking they've just made the best friend and have their new buyer, and then they get ghosted.
Yeah.
Well, you get ghosted because you just word vomited everything about your brand, and that person only took away 20% of the 2 hours that you were on the phone with them. So it's the gatekeeper is important because one, you've built a system, a franchise system that is what? A process and a procedure. You are wanting people to follow that process and procedure. So if you start the relationship without a process and procedure, what do you think you're going to get?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, most times you're going to get no franchise owners, but even if you did, they're going to just think they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. And then I think the second biggest piece is thinking that going and working with brokers, consultants, any of those groups is the first thing that you should do. I think anybody today, if you'd asked me 5 years ago, they would have looked at me like I had a third eye right here. But I think the biggest thing that has come out of this shift for certain brands was how do I build some organic lead gen? Because the first 10, 15 owners of your franchise are going to be people that are brand loyalists. Likely people that are customers or have had that experience, or they're friends of customers that have had those experiences. So they're going to deliver everything that they get as a consumer they're going to want to deliver that as a franchise owner. So really it's kind of nurturing that base of people that are loyal to your brand, that like every post, that show up for every event.
Right.
Like they are the go seek them out, help them figure out how they too can own this, because that for a franchise long term, those are your validators. People are going to validate that you gave the support, that they got all of their money's worth, and that they're making money. What you're going to love about that as a franchisor is that you're going to do everything in your power to help them make money.
Right.
And so that's the base of the successful growth that Create a Shift wants to give a franchisor is start there. And then the rest gets a lot easier. It's hard. I'm not going to say that it's not, but the rest of it becomes a lot easier when you start with a really strong base.
Yeah. No, and I think the thing, I think professionally, obviously personally, our alignment is a whole different podcast, but the professional is you're not blowing smoke up their asses and going, oh, go into brokers.
Oh, we can say that on a podcast. I can curse. Who knew?
On a podcast, we can. Yeah, no, the TV show, not so much. But no, you're telling them the truth with this and not saying, oh, go into brokers. You do 100, sell, like some in the FSO world do that we try to avoid like the plague.
Look at it this way.
Honest
you just
education.
Said words. Sell. Close.
Correct.
Right? Award doesn't equal close.
Correct.
And I know they all need the money. Like everybody needs money. We need money, right? But putting the wrong person in to make that franchise fee is actually probably going to cost you triple that when they're no longer in that system.
Right. And then not only do you lose obviously the royalty where they're really making the money, now you've got, well, we had 10 and now we had 5. Well, you just lost half of your franchise owners. Yeah. What's going on there? If you're Subway and you lose, right? If you're Subway and you lose 5, whatever, right? You've got 10 and you just lost 5. Yikes.
And for you guys that are on the consultant side, like, what does that say to you? Like, is that something that
avoid?
Because the why that they're going to give you, my guess is you're not going to love that. And then you know that your client is going to come back and ask the same why. And if you can't give a good reason and you're getting the reason from the franchisor and it doesn't match up, like, you're not likely to send it there, because my guess would be, Tim Parmeter, that creates fear. False evidence appearing real, and then no one moves forward with anything. And then that person has missed out on what is it you say? The opportunity to create a better tomorrow.
Why can you not say that phrase without like a smirk and a snicker?
I don't know.
So, okay. So then with Create a Shift, we've been doing that for a while, but now we've got kind of a partnership, a merger. So why we've got now, and when this airs, maybe the website is completely done and updated, but if not, by the end of October.
The website is live. It is just getting a shift in it.
We are creating a shift in the Create a Shift and FranCoach sphere. So we're kind of rolling these in here together, right? Yeah. So why are we doing that?
This just in. I don't know why. Because we have everything else together.
I asked the questions on this show, so
everything else is together except us. Like, for anybody listening to this, we don't live together. He likes to tell everybody we're married. We
are, right? Unless there's something
legally
you want to share on this show that I don't want to hear. Yeah. So we are married and have been for over 4 years now, and we live in different states half the time. So
sometimes more longer than half, but still, yes. So like, we have merged our personal lives as much as we feel comfortable merging our personal lives. And it made sense to kind of merge businesses, because just like a lot of relationships, I'm good at what I'm good at and he's good at what he's good at, and we're not good at the things that we're not good at. So it's a good balance between the two. And I think for me, the opportunity was, and has been, and I just said this to someone this morning on a phone call, it gives Creative Shift a unique understanding of how consultants work, right? You have 10, 12 people under the FranCoach umbrella. I've worked with franchise consultants for 10 plus years. The merging them together, you get a lot of people looking to, hey, how do I franchise my brand? What have you? They reach out to you directly through the podcast and what have you. It just made some sense to kind of merge those things together, because they can, if they're a brand that's looking to get into franchise and hey, they really want to work with a broker group, we can do some independent agreement things. And that's an episode for another day, or give us a shout, give us a call, send a message, send a tortoise down the road, whatever works for you. But this way you kind of get both ends of the spectrum and a whole franchise family taking care of you and your brand as if it were ours. So it just kind of made some sense to have the, what's the word that I'm missing? And this is my brain on not on drugs. Any questions? The cohesiveness of having this full support team that comes with FranCoach and Creative Shift.
Yeah, it's kind of literally like a one-stop shop at this point. So if somebody wants something in franchising, pretty much like it's FranCoach and drop the mic. And I think both I think where the FranCoach model has always really been focused on properly educating people, and Creative Shift, you're always trying to do the same thing. And it's almost like protecting like our clients, both potential franchise owners and franchisors on the Creative Shift side. Like it's like our children, we have to protect them from like the bad actors out there in franchise. And not that there are many, but usually the bad ones are the louder ones. And so you've got to be able to kind of like, hey, we're just going to make sure you have all the right information. If this is for you, great. If not, but we're not like the one thing, we were always going to be 100% honest. You may not like what you hear, right? But at least you're going to know the truth and be able to see the whole perspective of it, and then figure out what the path is.
Well, and the truth to us, right? Like, and we're not everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone loves everything that we say, and nor will they. Right. And I'm not trying to say that I am the resident expert of all things. I have experience of understanding what it means to work with an FSO, and that there were positives and negatives of that experience, but there are positive and negatives of every experience. I want to be clear that Creative Shift isn't here to sell your franchise. Like that's not what we do. If you need a salesperson, I have a lot of connections. I can help introduce you to the right people. I want you to vet and get the right person representing your brand internally. That is my soapbox of the moment. You don't have to go outside and use somebody else. We can train and teach someone that works for you, that is trusted and knows your brand like you do. Creative Shift is the avenue or the vehicle to get you to the places that you want to go. I do not, and nor does my team do the franchise sales stuff. We did in the beginning, and it was great, and we've helped a lot of brands grow, some that I've mentioned on here, some that I've mentioned on the TV show, and now they have graduated to the next space, right? Like, I don't want to be your long-term play. I'm not. Right. Like, Creative Shift does not want to be your long-term. It wants to be the stepping stone for you to get to long-term. Like I said, we are great here in this beginning space. Not that I can't do here or here. We're just better here. And sometimes knowing that is better for our clients. And I wish other organizations in the franchising world thought the same. Like, don't try to be everything to everybody. Stick to the thing that you know and that you can do, and deliver what you can. And then the best thing ever, Tim, like ever, know when it's time to leave.
Right. Yeah.
The breakup is always the hardest. Go back in your memories when you were dumped or you broke up with someone in your life, right? Like, we won't talk about how many times that happened or how old we were in those stages. But the best thing in life is to know when it's time to leave and do it gracefully. Yeah. And don't pass the reins to the next. Because there are people that are really great at their jobs and really great at what they do at those other levels. And not that I can't. I'm just choosing to be really great at the thing I know I can do.
Yeah. I think the you don't have to like it, but the authenticity of everything I know you're going to say to franchisors. And one of them that tends to throw people off in that situation is we go back to like our actual relationship. We are married, right? And I am a broker, consultant, coach, whatever you want to say. And we have a team of them. And now Creative Shift is part of that overall umbrella of FranCoach. And one of the very first things you tell a newer brand is basically, don't work with my husband, right? And so it's not like it's this self-serving thing of like, oh, you should totally, I don't know if you should work with all brokers, but definitely work with FranCoach. They're the best.
Yeah, no.
Yes, we are. But again, because it's not the right thing for them, right? And so I
right
always
thing for them, and it's not the right thing for you, because your group is, here's what's going to happen. They're going to expect something out of you all because the expectation has been laid somewhere. When you don't deliver that, then that puts a bad taste in their mouth. When they don't deliver on the things that you need for your clients, that puts a bad taste in yours. And so if you want long-term success and opportunity there, you got to lay the groundwork correctly to say there are some that you should work with and some that you shouldn't. There are groups that you should join and groups that you shouldn't. It is costly. So let's figure out what your budget is and then figure out what the pathway is forward. And if you come to me and say my budget's wide open, I'm going to say it's probably really not, because I'm going to challenge you on that, because as much as you think it is, double it. It's more. It's not as it used to be. So I agree with you. I think there is a value in the unit being together. And I think anyone that wants to optimize on that kind of growth strategy, it's a great thing. But I don't make decisions for Creative Shift based on what's going on with FranCoach, and FranCoach doesn't make decisions based on what's going on with Creative Shift. So we're still two separate entities, but we have the power of the overall brand, message, podcast, TV show that you and I think have done really well to be able to show people both sides of a coin, like what you see, what your clients see, what the franchise looks for, and what have you. So being able to marry those together is a unique placement in the franchising world right now.
Yep. So last thing for you, I know you're busy. At least you better be. So, but well, I have two things for you before we'll let you go. With FranCoach, our team is growing, and with part of this, like, you are literally now the president of FranCoach. So everything's official. I dropped dead. You're stuck with the whole thing. We've brought on a vice president of business development, full time to help us like run this crazy thing. We're in a growth space for new coaches. And so we've got a lot of this going on. Talk about kind of where, well, two things. One is we also have a CDO, Chief Dog Officer. Is he around? Is he available for a quick appearance?
Nope, he's asleep. It's like a baby. You don't wake the dog.
Like sleeping on the job. We are gonna have to. So anyway, Sir Henry also will be on the website as our Chief Dog Officer, and so if nothing else, he brings the cute and fluffy, and will love everyone. So
yes. He is a friend to all, no matter if you're a franchisor or a franchisee or anyone. Like, he loves
this. It would not be his first appearance on this podcast, but we're trying to be his first official title. I think I snuck him on with one of our dog franchises a while back. So
got it.
But the last thing is just somebody's listening out there. Again, your background from a franchise experience. What's maybe a piece of advice you would give somebody, like, hey, is this for me? And it could be as a franchise owner, but it could be like there's all these different things. They could be working for a franchise. What's maybe a piece of advice you'd throw at somebody?
That's a hard question. You didn't even give me time to think about it.
No, but I knew you would do the preface thing while you were thinking about it, and then I would jump in to bail you out and give you like another chance.
No, I've got one thing. And I think I say this to a lot of people here recently, just because it plays in my head. It takes nothing more than an hour of your time to get to know something or learn something or introduce yourself to something new. None of this requires anything more than a conversation with another human. And so
Right.
don't take that, like you take that hour surfing social media, you take that hour binge watching your favorite show on Netflix, right? Take that time and invest it in yourself, because learning something new doesn't mean you have to commit to anything. And I think
Right.
that's been my 2025 like goal, like is to just allow myself that extra time to learn something new, or allow that extra time to give to something different. No one says I have to buy anything. I mean, I'm sure you've told people on here, we've been owners of franchises. Like before I met you, I had bought a franchise. Like not every franchise is going to be the winner, and that's okay. But you don't know unless you take the moment to learn. So I think I'm just a big proponent of give it the hour. And if at the end of that hour you are intrigued and want to learn more, just, guess what? Take the next step. We all walk before we run. So it's worth doing.
No, I love it. And really even like the FranCoach side of things, heck, that first call is maybe 20 minutes. So you don't even need you got an extra 40 minutes that you can still serve the internet if you want to with that. So as always, a pleasure having you as a guest on the Franchising 101 podcast. Frankly, none of this would be in existence without you. So I just want to publicly thank you for my amazing life.
Okay. Well, you're welcome. Like very rarely am I speechless, but here I am.
Yes. Dear diary, today it finally happened. So
Danielle, shut up.
And on that note, we're out. Thanks for joining us. And thanks again to our wonderful guest, the lovely, the talented Miss Danielle Wright, for joining us. And really very excited, we both are, about kind of what's going on with FranCoach and Create a Shift and the growth and the movement that there, but also season 2 of our TV show. Podcast is great. I can't thank our loyal listeners for, dang near 5 years of this show. And now to be in year 2 of the TV show is pretty darn cool and exciting. So that is every Friday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Biz TV. Also, you're going to find it on our YouTube channel, FranCoach for You, along with all of our other stuff there. And when you are ready to learn more, the FranCoach team is here for you. Again, remember, everything with us. Yes, it's Franchising 101 podcast or the Franchising 360 show, but FranCoach, baby, that's where it all is at. FranCoach is where we are. FranCoach.net is how you find us. There's never any fee for our service. So let us help you create your better tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.